You're watching Two Button Crew,
the daily show for Nintendo fans.
I'm Scott.
And I am Simeon.
Let's talk about Zelda Wii U.
Let's.
Nintendo decided, hey, you got a long time to think about this. We're just going to take our time.
Take our sweet time.
Who needs E3?
Who needs it?
It's just quietly in development.
Yeah. We're going to be talking today about what we want to see in Zelda for Wii U. Not the actual title, hopefully.
Right, no. And I would like to see it for Wii U.
Yeah.
I don't want them to skip the console generation just because NX is coming out.
No.
A couple years anyway. It's probably 2017 holiday or something like that.
Probably.
So, would you want it to do the Twilight Princess situation where it comes out on both?
Nah. I think just Wii U.
What's your first wish list item for the game?
Well, so far one of the big things that we've seen in trailers and stuff is that they're showing this huge open world. They're emphasizing this big open space.
Yep.
And so I hope that, like when he said, you see that mountain in the background? You can go there. I hope that that is the case, that it is that big, that you can walk that far and explore that much.
Yeah, because that was the big statement from last year's E3.
Yeah.
It's open world. And then Miyamoto, tried to backtrack a little bit on it the next day. He's like, oh, we use the word open world because that's kind of the gaming buzzword. It was just the closest to what we were going for. But then they've waffled on it back and forth ever since. So I agree with that. Also, I don't want just a large open world. I want them to make use of the big space.
Yeah.
Because open can be kind of a scary word. Like, if it's just open space with not a lot going on, then that's kind of a waste.
No people, no enemies. It's just,
right.
Oh, this looks nice.
We've had a couple glimpses at the game and the big fields and stuff. And there's a few enemies, there's a few birds, there's some wild horses. That's cool. But I want to make sure they just take advantage of it. Lots of animals, lots of enemies roaming around, villagers, towns throughout the field and stuff. Maybe some outposts, maybe some wandering NPC characters that aren't in fixed locations. You have to find them.
That'd be great.
So yeah, I don't want it to just be big for the sake of being big.
Please
take good advantage of it.
Yes. And I think that your next kind of item goes on along with the expansiveness of the world.
Yeah. So it would be cool to have an actual side quest tracker. Because the Legend of Zelda series, it has some pretty cool side quests. And I just got done with Ocarina of Time not too long ago, and they had the whole... in order to get the big Goron sword, you had to talk to, I think, every character in the game or something like that. So, with an open world and so many locations and characters, there's going to be tons of side quests, I think. So I'm the kind of to-do list person. I like to be organized and have everything in one place where I can see it and see my progress through everything. I'd like that kind of page in Legend of Zelda to see what kind of side quests are open and what I need to do for them, because I don't want to lose track. It'd be cool for, as a completionist, to have that all in one spot.
I agree. It's a bummer to go through a game and then realize that you missed something.
Oh, I got the lame ending.
Yeah, and then get the lame ending, or realize, oh, I'm missing one heart piece.
Right.
Which one did I miss? I thought I got all of them. That's a pain. I want Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. It gives you a map and it shows X's and O's where you...
Hugs and kisses.
Yeah, hugs and kisses, XOXO, where you found the items and where you have not found the items yet. And I think that would be very nice.
Am I allowed to kiss at the camera?
I think so.
All right.
Yeah. I'm not going to, though. So, I think that a side quest tracker would be fantastic.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks,
just came up with it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Boss battles. Let's talk boss battles. Boss battles can be pretty cool. Even in the Legend of Zelda series, they're pretty cool. I think Star-Lord is probably the coolest boss battle that the series has to offer. But
I enjoyed Demise.
Yes.
He's cool.
Yes. I think, though, that they've really not gotten the hang of changing things up. It's like this boss has a glowing eyeball, or this boss, has some weird tail thing that's flapping around.
Yeah.
And I think that the boss battles need to be less about get item in dungeon, use item in dungeon against boss's glowing eyeball, the Gloss's blowing eyeball.
Glowing boss's eyeballs, or glosses for short.
Yes, glosses. His glosses. I would like to see the series step away from that so that we can see more strategy and stuff go into the boss battles.
Legend of Zelda series is in a way in many different kinds of ruts.
Yes.
Doing the same things the same way for a long time. In Skyward Sword, they took a look at a lot of those conventions and tried to change them. There's also been some conventions changed in Link Between Worlds, so that was nice. With the bosses, specifically, since that was on your wish list, I did want to point out Skyward Sword because one thing they addressed is how in the series a boss is always in a circular room. You get the boss key, you go up to the circular room, you finally get in, and then, like you said, you see the big gloss, the glowing weakness point, and that's where you fight it, is in that circular room. So they did try to address that. Did you play much Skyward Sword?
I've not made it through very much of it yet. I do have it, though.
There's bosses that are in, like, long corridors and stuff like that, so they still have the big weak points, though, so they're taking some steps, and I agree that's a great step to take. I have a request storyline-wise. I'd like some difficult decisions to be presented to Link and the player in this game. Link is pretty much the
blandest.
He
is bland. I'm sorry, I gotta get it out there. I think that Link is bland. You can hate me for it, but I'm sorry.
He's a cool looking bland.
Yeah, he's a cool looking bland guy.
He's kind of the typical flawless hero.
Yes.
He's got the Triforce of Courage, so he's gonna go up against whatever evil has swept the land, and he's gonna fight it. But what if there was some gray areas, some decisions where you had to choose to save this character or that character? What if he was romantically interested in Zelda and he had to choose between pursuing her or pursuing the greater good, that kind of thing? How about some difficult decisions and not just pure heroism?
Yeah, I think that would add a whole depth of character development, because honestly, Link as a character hasn't developed at all. We've seen he's a good guy. Right. He's the hero of courage. And we see the other characters develop a little bit, but not really Link. I guess the only thing we can say for Link's development is extrapolate from like Majora's Mask or something, like, oh, he's going through the 5 stages of grief, or the 5 stages of grief. See? 5 stages. 5 masks.
They're all right there.
Coinky dink? I think not. Next, I think there are a lot of cool items in the Legend of Zelda series. I want to see more cool items, some new cool items.
Yeah.
And I want to see them be really helpful throughout the game. I think they did it really well in Link to the Past. And I think that like the hook shot is a great example where it's not just used one time.
Yeah.
On the other side, we see the spinner from Twilight Princess. The spinner was pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. The spinner was pretty cool. Did it really have any application outside of Arbiter's Grounds? No, it didn't. And I just want to see items that are cool. They're not lame, obviously. But I also want to see the application throughout the game. Yeah.
It's nice when you see, like, you're early in a Zelda game and you walk past a hookshot point and you think to yourself, I'm going to come back to that. So maybe we could see some points like that in the game, but we don't actually know what we need for that.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a huge open world, so we'll have to mark stuff like that down on our map to come down to.
So my last wish list item is to have, and this is something I think that's inevitable, is to have some sort of cool gimmick that goes along with the game.
Okay.
Like every game in the series pretty much has this. Like Link to the Past, you have the Light World and the Dark World. In Majora's Mask, you have
Majora's Mask.
You have the masks, and you also have the 3-day structure. Twilight Princess, you have the wolf, which could have been executed a little bit better, but
where you got a boat or a loft wing.
Yeah, exactly. The loft wing. The loft wing was, that was kind of helpful, but it's just some sort of really cool gimmick. Like, I don't know, they can think of something. I think that there's some way to make this game distinct where when you think of Majora's Mask, the first thing besides the mask that you think of is the 3-day structure.
Right.
Or Twilight Princess, the first thing you think of is the wolf. Something that makes this game unique and stand out in a good way that people will remember and say, oh, that's the game about blah.
Yeah. Yep, and it's usually transportation based. So
yes.
Transportation wise, Epona is coming back, but what else will there be? There's got to be like a faster way.
Motorcycle.
Well, that's canon with Mario Kart. You can just go borrow the Mario Kart bike.
There you go.
Alright, so I think it'd actually be cool to see a different villain. I liked what they did with Skyward Sword. In a lot of ways, Skyward Sword tried new things, and it went pretty well overall. They tried to actually make a villain that was opposite of Ganondorf. Not so burly and dark and tall and scary. He was a slender, white, kind of freaky, feminine kind of enemy.
Yeah.
Like, they have actually stated that's what they're going for, so I'm not just making stuff up here. And then I just like to close it out by saying I'd really enjoy this game to have some good pacing. That's an area that Zelda struggles a lot. You get out to a slow start. You're herding sheep or something, learning everything from the beginning. Maybe you can turn it on easy and get your handheld more if you're new to the series, but I think that there are so many Zelda fans now that we can take the fast track to get into the action. So I'd like it if the sequences weren't dragged out, and I'm not talking about just at the beginning of the game, also throughout the course of the game. Not so much repetitive gameplay would be nice.
Yes.
Like, collect 12 things here, then go to the next area and collect the same 12 things here. Like, like what do they do? Like the Tears of Light or something, like that kind of thing. A more driven plot would be nice, where you don't just feel like you're
going to save the princess.
Exactly. But even when you are saving the princess in Zelda games, you're free to wander about as much as possible and do all these side quests and everything. And I like side quests. I'm not saying to keep it so linear and narrow that there's like a timer on what you have to do, but if it was just more driven, and if there were some kind of pressure, like those difficult decisions I was talking about, like just to make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, I've had that feeling when I've played games, and it's like, I have to go do this.
Yeah. Now
the world is going to end if I do not go do this.
Right. Because when you do that, the payoff is even better. The emotional payoff of defeating that bad guy.
Okami did that for me. The world's going to end. It's night and you can't make it daytime.
Right.
Oh, geez, I have to change that.
That's a good example.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead and feel free to comment with anything you've got on your mind. I'm sure there's many more wish lists for Zelda Wii U out there.
Indeed. And don't forget to like and to subscribe as well.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the crew. We'll see you next time.
Signing out.